area. It's called Clackamas. My dad sent me this picture. He had strung Christmas lights and wanted me to see the house.
When did he send it?
It's been a while now, a couple years. Fairly small front yard, but there was property in the back, and my parents had fruit trees. So we had apple trees, pear trees, cherry trees, plum trees, and a vegetable garden.
And you grew up picking fruit and vegetables?
I did. So Portland is near Mount Hood in the Cascade Range, and it's famous for its strawberries. And my very first job was picking strawberries during the very brief season, and I think I made $3.25 a crate.
A crate.
A crate.
A crate. And what about the other? Did you pick fruit too? And
no.
okay. And any siblings?
Yes, I'm the oldest of 5. I have a younger sister and 3 younger brothers, and they're all married or have a partner, and they all have kids except for me.
Okay.
So I have 9 nieces and nephews.
Okay, tell us about early education.
Early education. Okay. So my family on my mom's side, and then with my dad, we all belonged to this church in a little town called Damascus, closer to Mount Hood. And we went to Damascus Community Church. That church had a school attached to it, a private Christian school. So not only did I go to church there, but I went to school there, kindergarten through 12th grade. Very small insular community. I felt like I was going to school with cousins, if that makes sense. Everybody knew everybody.
And you said it was conservative?
Very conservative, yes.
But you've recovered.
I have. And continue to recover.
Okay. All right. And then what about beyond high school? You went to seminary?
Yes. Oh, I should flip through pictures. Quickly. So my home in Clackamas is just a few miles from the end of the Oregon Trail in Oregon City. So we passed by this on the freeway quite frequently. It's a sort of a point of interest, like a park where people can stop. And then this is a view of Portland up against Mount Hood. I had this view of Mount Hood from my bedroom window, not the cityscape, but just the mountain. So yeah, I woke up and saw that every morning when it wasn't cloudy. This is Multnomah Falls, if you're familiar with them. This is near Portland. There's a hiking trail that goes up to the top, and I have done that trail a few times. This is me. I think in the middle, first grade, I think, yeah. And the girl to my left was my best friend growing up. I don't know who that is.
Now you said you did, what kind of exercising did you do when you were growing up?
Exercising.
Rappelling, you said?
Oh,
was that later?
That was later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mostly chasing my siblings around.
Okay. And you took care of them when?
Once in a while, yeah.
Yeah.
My mom was a homemaker when we were younger. And then as we grew up and sort of moved on, she took on administrative and secretarial positions outside the home.
For what outfit?
She worked for an optometrist for a while, a fabric store, and then retired from a fencing company in Portland.
And what about your dad?
He was an auto mechanic. He either owned his own shop or worked for someone while I was growing up. And then right about the time I graduated from high school, he got a position with the local fire department as the head of their maintenance department. So he started working on county and city vehicles, fire trucks predominantly, and their hydraulic systems. And he retired from that job.
Oh, that's really a variety of things for both, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about after you went to, what comes next? Seminary next?
Oh, just a picture of my family.
Okay.
I'm missing 2 brothers in that picture, but my parents are there, my husband and I, a brother, a sister and their families, and even the 2 dogs. This was my 50th birthday last July. Yeah. This is in Oregon. This is in Salem. My sister's house. She's in the pink, kind of in the middle.
Your 50th birthday. Wow,
Yeah.
you were,
I'm right there. Third one in. Yeah.
okay.
This is my husband and I. This is Alan. We've been married 30 years this year. Yeah.
Okay, may as well. Where did you meet your husband?
We met in college at Multnomah Bible College. I spotted him in class. He was very nicely dressed in a nice button-down shirt and slacks, where all the other young men were in wrinkled t-shirts and jeans. And I said, maybe I should call him and ask him to study.
Oh, and that's how you did
That's
it.
how we met. Yeah.
Tell us about it.
We started studying, and my grades were actually better than his, so he benefited from this relationship. And we dated for 2 years. We were engaged for about 6 months, and then we married the day after he graduated from college. His family was there for the graduation, so it made sense logistically in that way. But that week I had finals, I had senior retreat, I was getting married, I had Alan's graduation, and we were moving to Sunnyvale. A little overwhelming.
Is that where you live now?
No, we lived there for 4 years. Now we're in the Berryessa area in North San Jose, near
Okay.
Milpitas.
Okay.
Yeah. We-
And your husband does what there?
He works for Santa Clara County. He works in the administrative department of child support services. He runs audits on child support accounts, and he implements court orders.
Implements court orders.
For financial payments.
Okay.
Yeah. He decided to go for his MBA while I was working on my MDiv. So our house was very, very quiet for about 2 years. He worked upstairs and I worked downstairs, and
Uh-huh.
it worked out well.
And you're still in the same house?
We are. We've been there since 2000.
A 2-story house with just two of you, huh?
Yeah, well, it's a condo.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. What about for fun?
For fun. Let's see what. Oh, this is just more family. This is my grandma in the middle. I've mentioned her a few times. My brother and his family, and then aunts and uncles and cousins with grandma. So for fun, this is in Minnesota. Oh, more cousins. Hang on. My sister. This is me. I got the leftover snow gear from my uncle, and we were out looking for a Christmas tree in northern Minnesota, Thanksgiving weekend.
What were you doing in Minnesota?
I have family there.
Okay.
My dad's family.
Okay.
I'm wearing sunglasses, and the steam froze on the lenses, so I was looking through ice. And I look like a serial killer coming up behind a very nice family. And then we did snowmobiling. That's me. We went ice fishing on Lake of the Woods. Canada is just in the background there. It was very, very cold. Yes. For fun, for recreation, we watch a lot of movies. We have a dog that we work a lot with and training and having fun.
Picture?
I have a picture at the end. My husband is a volunteer trail watcher for Santa Clara County. So he is out on the trails every Saturday looking for downed trees or people in need of first aid or water. He gets a radio from the rangers and he can radio in if
This
they
is
need
a
help.
walking trail or?
Yeah, hiking trail. Yeah. Yeah.
Any interesting incidents happen?
Yes. How do I say this delicately? So in a particular park, and I don't remember which one, there was a gentleman for years who would go running in the nude on the trails, and they were never able to catch him. This had gone on for at least a decade. And one day Alan was out hiking and came across him and was able to radio the ranger. The ranger was able to come out immediately and they finally caught him.
So you met a nude man on the trail.
Well, my husband did. Yes.
Oh, I thought you said you met him.
No, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said you were out.
No, no, it
Okay.
was Alan.
Any other interesting things happen that we'd like to hear about?
Um, from Alan's volunteer work
Yeah.
uh
Your husband's name was Alan?
Alan, yeah. He just kind of he normally comes back with stories of people who've fallen and skinned their knee and needed band-aids, or someone who went out without water or a jacket and needed help, or got lost and needed help. Um, those sorts of things.
It seemed that the story of the nude man who ran on the trail would have hit the newspapers. That's an unusual one.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
The Rangers were very excited.
that could be taken a number of ways, but okay.
He does in Santa Clara County. He decides. Yeah, he rotates through a few different parks.
Any place around here?
Joseph D. Grant quite frequently. Calero. Um, Henry Coe. Yes. There's one with old mercury mines. So Quicksilver, he goes to Quicksilver. Ed Levin is sort of behind our house. He goes up there. So different places. Actually, this picture, where was it? This is at Ed Levin Park.
And he's still doing that now.
Yeah, he goes every Saturday unless it rains.
Okay.
Yeah. What else do I have here? Oh, this is me at my ordination. I was ordained in 2012. Presbyterian. Yeah, Protestant.
Are you active in the Protestant church here at all?
Sort of.
I mean, at the Presbyterian church.
Yes. I'm affiliated. I'm not there very often, but both pastors are good friends of mine, and I know a number of people there. So you'll see me, if anyone goes, you'll see me pop up once in a while.
Have you ever? Okay. What next now?
So Kate had asked me about my travels when we prepped for this.
What about exercise too outside staying with
Yes, things to do
where
for
we are
fun.
now? Like, what do you do with your husband for fun? Or what did you say about rappelling? Does that come later?
No, I could talk about that. So my senior year of high school, we went out to an area called Smith Rock in Eastern Oregon, and there was I don't know what to call it, a company that helped us with equipment, and I went rappelling down a mountainside. It was very unnerving to back up backwards and start going down the side of a cliff.
And
But once you're at the bottom, you're like, wow, can I do that again?
did you do it again?
No, they
No,
didn't have time.
just once.
Yeah.
Okay, well then onward to what you were going to say next.
Okay. So travels.
Russia, you said for 2 weeks.
Yes. My first trip to Russia was in 91, the summer between high school and college. I was there for 2 weeks. This was just before the political coup and the government collapse in August of 91. So I came home, and 3 days later, all of that was on the news, and they were pulling down statues that I had pictures of from just a few days before. Yeah. My second trip to Russia was in 2001, September 2001, when 9/11 happened. So we were in Moscow when that took place. The first trip, we just hit the major cities, Moscow, Kiev in the Ukraine, and Leningrad or St. Petersburg. Second trip, Moscow and St. Petersburg, and then we went down to a small town called Kislovodsk near the Georgian border. And there you start to see the Muslim influence in the buildings. It's a mixture of the Russian Orthodoxy and Islam. That was an interesting trip.
Was it a vacation kind of trip or with a purpose of?
No, they both had a purpose. So we were tourists, but we also were going to do different projects. So the first one was a trip where for college students, and we met with churches. And then the second trip was with a very small group, and we visited orphanages and different shut-ins. Kislovodsk is sort of a spa town, but not spa in the sense of luxury, spa in the sense of hot water soaks and medical care.
Okay.
So there are a lot of people who are ill there. So we were able to distribute food and clothing and that sort of thing. Yeah. This picture, my other out of the country trip, was to Guanajuato, Mexico. So this was where this was overlooking the city. My brother-in-law is a mathematics professor for the University of British Columbia, and he was on a tour to different universities, meeting with, I think, PhD students. So he was working during the week, and my sister-in-law and I got to wander around and take Spanish classes and visit a hacienda and all kinds of things.
So you had purpose in going down there.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, that and soaking in the warm ocean. I mean, you can't pass that up. We after this, we went to Puerto Vallarta. That's where the warm water was. Yeah.
I took a class in Spanish there with a group of about 4 people, and on my transcript they put slow but persevering. That was before I was teaching at Oak Grove High School.
Very good.
Okay, what next?
Let's see.
What yeah, Mexico, you
My favorite movie, all-time movie, the Coen brothers film, The Big Lebowski. So this is Jeff Bridges. He's known for drinking White Russians in the movie. And so this now calls them a white Ukrainian. But yeah, favorite movie. Oh, here's Zozo. This is my dog Zoe. She's half poodle, half Cavalier Spaniel. Very smart and has the poodle attitude. But she's just a doll. We spoil her rotten.
certificate of achievement.
Yeah, that was her puppy obedience class. She had to go down and stay for that picture.
So she has a degree of sorts.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We've been doing agility training for the past year. We're going to take a little bit of a break, but she's really good at agility. It's been a lot of fun.
What does that mean?
She, on command, will do jumps over jumps, and then she'll climb tall things and come down the other side and do a teeter-totter, go through tunnels, all sorts of things.
You should have brought her.
I wish I could have.
Yeah,
She's a lot of fun.
yeah, that's too bad. She could perform for us.
I call her circus dog.
You call her what?
Circus
Oh,
dog.
circus dog.
Yeah.
Okay. What about any other trips? Alaska?
Yes. When I was 4, my father was on assignment for the employer he worked for. He had to go up to Alaska and get a fleet of pickup trucks ready for transport by train down to Oregon. They were covered in snow. So his job was to get them started and moving. So he brought my mom, myself, and my little sister along with him. He went further up north. We stayed in Anchorage. This was in the spring, so there was quite a bit of snow. But we have a picture of my dad in a big snowsuit next to the sign for the Arctic Circle up there. Yeah. During that time, he grew a beard, and he was on a break from working, and he came down to where we were, and I was playing outside with my mom was there, and she saw this man coming toward us with this scraggly beard, and she's all, "Jenny, get in the house. There's a stranger coming." I said, "Mom, that's Daddy." I recognized him somehow.
Bet she's never lived that down.
Yes.
Okay, what else?
Let me think. What would you like to know? I don't promise to answer.
Okay. Anybody?
We went to the same college. We went to different graduate schools. He went to DeVry and Keller School of Business for his MBA. My MDiv is from Fuller Theological Seminary, and my doctorate is also from there. So two different schools.
And where is that?
Fuller Theological Seminary in Pasadena.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, she'll be 2 next month.
2?
Zoe will be 2 next month.
Oh, she's very bright for 2 years old.
Yes, a little genius. No, I did for her 1 year birthday. Well, I did a picture montage and posted it. What? Life in Greek, yes. Yeah.
Any other questions? Ruth?
Oh, okay. Yes, my church assignments since ordination. My first position out of seminary was as a chaplain for the Santa Clara County jails. So I was in the jail downtown on Heading Street, and I was out in Milpitas at the county facility out there. I also worked in juvenile hall downtown, and then they had a couple of juvenile camps down towards Morgan Hill. And I was there for about 5 years. I worked with the men, women, kids, all levels of security.
Any
Yeah.
memorable experiences or challenges or humorous or
Um, so
I didn't know this, so I'm glad you asked that question.
there was a couple at the Methodist Church in Campbell, Franklin Bondano and his wife Elaine. Some of you know them. Elaine has since passed, but she brought in what we called an art and spirit workshop, where we did art projects with those who were particularly isolated, with limited materials. There are some things you don't bring into the jail. Um, we were able to display the artwork in different venues in the county. One was at the main county building downtown, outside the jury room, where the DA asked us to remove it the very next day. It's been, I think, out at the airport, in different places. That was a wonderful program to be a part of. It was and it wasn't scary. The inmates have respect for the chaplains there. They know we're there to help. So I never felt threatened. I felt appreciated. And there were also officers, sheriff's officers, everywhere, and panic buttons. So I never felt like I was in danger per se. No, no. The worst thing that ever happened was I was on the elevator downtown trying to get to a certain floor, and there was an emergency, and a troop of officers came stomping in, took over the elevator, and I kind of got squished in a corner. And then it opened on a certain floor, and they all ran out. And I don't know what happened, but that was interesting.
Anybody else with questions?
Oh, second church, sorry. After the jail, I worked for an immigration attorney for about a year. And then after that, I became a pastor of Evergreen Presbyterian Church here in East San Jose. And I was there for 5 years until they closed down last spring. So then I'm here.
And you're here. How did you get here?
The two pastors at the Presbyterian Church down this next door, Dave Watermolder and Erica Rader, if you know them. Erica and I are very close friends. We went to seminary together. She was in contact with Cindy. They knew each other, and she knew Cindy was leaving. So she knew my church had closed. So she encouraged me to get my resume in and apply for the position.
Okay, interesting.
So, yeah.
So Cindy is your connection.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Anybody else with questions? The question is about how was it when she was working in the jail? Yeah.
One of my responsibilities was to look for suicidal thoughts and do suicide intervention. So I had some pretty heavy conversations with inmates around those points. Many of them are at that point and depressed. I'm not sure what else to say about that. My presence there encouraged them. Just being there with them was an encouragement that they weren't forgotten. And that somebody was thinking of them and cared enough to sit there with them and just talk for a minute.
That's
Yeah.
good reason.
Are there a lot of drugs in the jail? There are some drugs that make their way in. There are also inmates who will make their own alcohol out of compost.
How do you do that?
They store it in the toilet tanks in garbage bags. You can smell it. It's nasty. Yeah, but desperate people will
Yeah,
take
I was gonna say
desperate
that's
measures.
pretty desperate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll see her later.
We've got
Okay, Marion. The question is, were there programs like education?
There were a few, not many, but a few where they could work on their GED or attend 12-step meetings. Most of the programs were outside of the jail, not inside. They were available. Yeah. Yes, Ruth. Most important challenges here at the terraces. Finding ways to address loneliness. Connecting with those who are in independent living. It's easier to connect with those in assisted living where my office is right down the hallway, but finding ways to build relationships with those in independent living. And just being a spiritual resource, whether it's one-on-one or groups that are effective and meaningful, or the Sunday afternoon worship service. Just being effective and available to people.
So can you make suggestions to us about this availability? I guess you already have,
Yeah, if you want to invite me over for tea or meet in my office just to chat, or if you would like
What
prayer for
about
something.
martinis?
Martinis work. Yes, margaritas are better.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm open to meet. Yes. Hours where you're available in your office and you know you're there and we can drop in. I've never thought about, I don't see your house, so. Yes, I could designate office hours, and make sure my schedule is known and you're welcome to drop in. Yeah, I could do that.
Are you here every day?
I am not here on Saturdays or Tuesdays, but I am here the rest of the week.
And your office is?
My office is on the second floor where Cindy's office used to be. I overlook the Galleria. I'm very close to the elevator and dining room. And the jigsaw puzzle, yes.
Well, these are all good questions I've learned from the answers. So I guess that's all, and if there's nothing else. So thank you all for coming. This is really good.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
Niece works at one of those parks.
Oh, yeah?
Ranger.
Feel free to come up and talk with Jenny.
I'll have to ask him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
She's been there for, there's a big old house there that we renovated.
Yeah.
With all the old furniture that used to be up there. I can't remember who. I can't remember which car. Could be Co. and it could be. Anyway,
Yeah.
up there somewhere.
Okay, I'll ask him.
Good, ask it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Did you okay?
Yes. I can't figure out how to turn this off.
Oh, you want me to do it? You have to push.
And it didn't do that.